everyone, and welcome to a chilly but bright valley region here in Switzerland. The 10th season of the Enduro World Series is nearing its exciting finale, and we have just 2 rounds left to go, and this one is one of our very favourites. Welcome to the EWS Crans-Montana. Yeah. Woo! The course here in Switzerland is without doubt a chunky one, with a total of 41 kilometres of racing in store for the pros across 3,100 vertical metres of descending. Racing has already got underway on the first stage, the more toxic, during Saturday's pro stage. More on that in a second. The first stage on Sunday was the 2.9 kilometre French exit before a meaty liaison over to the super fast stage 3 Cooper. After that, it was the big one, the Queen stage, stage 4 Cal start, before a rerun of Saturday's pro stage to round things off. And speaking of the pro stage, we had drama aplenty already. Fastest pro woman was Hattie Harnden, who dropped some serious watt bombs all over the stage to take the win. Second place went to Isabelle Courdurier, who is closing in on that title, whilst third place went to Ella Connolly. Morgan Schär, the title contender, in 4th place. Lisa Baumann impressing everyone with a 6th on her home turf. In the pro men's race, Jack was back. The champ, Jack Moyer, went fastest by 3 seconds. That was ahead of Martin Mays, whilst the man with the yellow plate, Jesse Melamed, the overall series leader, was in 3rd. Ewan Deneau was just 5 seconds off the win in 4th position, but it was Melamed's title rival, Richie Rude, down in 10th position, who had some serious work to do come Sunday. The first stage of Sunday was French exit, just under 3 kilometres with a vertical drop of 564 metres. It was a lightning fast eye-opener to start the day. The blue skies of Sunday morning were clearly welcome in the Richie Rude camp. The 2-time champ was 3rd on stage 2.
Go, go, go! Yeah! Go, Richie, go! Yeah, Richie!
Smooth start to the day. I hope to have a bit more pace than yesterday, but yeah, felt good. So, hoping for the best.
Melamed was down in 6th. If Richie wanted to make progress though, he'd have to clear the pair in front of him. Martin Mays went 7/10 of a second faster than him, but it was Jack Moyer who won the stage by nearly a second and increased his lead in the process.
Man, I'm finding it hard to get into them. I don't know if it's the cold or the altitude, but yeah, tough.
Morgan Schär had some racing to do as she wanted to underline her potential title-winning credentials. The French star finished 3rd on the first stage of the day to start making inroads. The race leader, Hattie Harnden, was just 1 spot up the road and just 1/10 off of the stage win, which kept her in the lead of the race.
It's a bit of a shock to the system at the start of the day, but really fun, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the day.
It may have just been a 10th of a second, but it was a start. Isabelle Courdurier took the stage win. Cooper was the 3rd stage of the race. At 2.7 kilometres, it was the shortest, but it came after an hour-long liaison. What it lacked in length, it made up for in speed and offered precious tenths of a second for those prepared to roll the dice. The reigning overall champ Melanie Pujan was 3rd on stage 3. Courdurier was down in 6th, having lost 2.8 seconds. Canyon's Gloria Scarzi is having a breakthrough year, but it was Switzerland's own Lisa Baumann who took a debut stage win on the 3rd test. In the pro men's, Alex Rudeau was continuing his impressive season with a 4th just behind Eddie Masters. The front was getting too tight to mention. Martin Mays looked to have won it, but Jack Moyer pipped him by just over a tenth of a second. It was a hat-trick of stage victories for the big Australian. After stage 3 then, here's how things stacked up. Hattie Harnden's lead had grown only by half a second from Courdurier. Shar was, as ever, in close contention, but the top two were edging away from her. Ella Conley was in fourth, just ahead of the hard-charging Baumann and Scarzy. Jack Moyer led the pro men's after his dominance of the first half of the race. Mays was in second, 4 seconds back, and Melamed was 9 further back behind him again. Ewan Deneau was still going strong and had leapfrogged compatriot Kevin McKell back into fourth. Richie Rood was climbing and now up to 7th, but was running out of stages to make it to the front. The 4th stage Cal start was the toughest of the day, and as a result the points paying Queen stage. At 4.5 kilometres in length, the top half featured a full send charge through the bike park before the extremely technical, high risk gully section awaited in the woods. Martin Mays was having a great day out on the stages. Having been in the top 3 on every stage, he was 3rd on 4.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, that stage 4 was absolutely brutal. Like in the middle of the flat, I was like, what is going on here? I mean, I just couldn't even remember my name probably. It was so physical, and then leading towards a very technical, fast bit with some big gaps where you have to be extremely precise. It was one of those stages that you will probably remember.
Jack Moyer was now operating at combat speed and made it a clinical 4th stage win on the bounce.
Pretty flat out, eh? I'm glad that one was over. I've been dreading it all day. Just way drier, more blown out. Yes, mate. One more. Let's go.
Weird, man. Like, I really don't think I've been thinking about the overall, but that one I just kind of tried to not think about it, and like I thought I flatted, so I think I just rode like not thinking, and that's what I wanted to do. So that was a better stage. Hopefully I can channel some more of that on the last stage and yeah, finish off the day strong.
Jesse Melamed finished 2nd on stage 4, just a couple of hundredths ahead of Mays. But the big news was behind him. Rood had crashed. The American recovered quickly, but with the times being biblically tight, he shipped over 6 seconds to Melamed. The title moved 1 step closer to Whistler. The pro women's race turned on its head on stage 4. The leader, Hattie Harnden, suffered a puncture. She crossed the line in 5th on the stage. She'd managed to stem her time losses, but was now out of the lead. Champions are experts on capitalising on their rivals' bad days. Isabeau Courdurier won the stage. Shar and Connolly followed her home.
Honestly, I just try to keep the same, keep my riding smooth and as fast as I can without taking too many risks. Happy it's very dry and it's hopefully it stay like that.
With just 1 stage left to race, Isabeau Courdurier had taken control of the race. Harnden was in 2nd, but was now 6.6 seconds back. Noga Karem and Rafaela Richter were going well in 5th and 6th respectively, whilst Baumann had slipped to 10th after a disappointing stage 4. Jack Moyer took home the Queen stage points as 2 distinct races were shaping up in the pro men's, one for the race and another for the title. If Mays wanted to better Moyer, he'd have to break his rhythm and conjure up 5.5 seconds on the final stage. Melamed was 14 seconds back off the win, but Rood's crash played into his favour if he could snatch a handful of championship points for 3rd place. Only 1 stage remained to race. L'Amour Toxique, the pro stage from Saturday, was faster, rougher and tougher than it had been all weekend, and was perfectly placed to be one of the definitive stages of the 2022 Enduro World Series season. Switzerland held its breath. Gloria Scarsi was second on the stage after a superb race. The Italian youngster would be rewarded with a 6th position for her efforts. Morgan Charr won the last stage. The French racer had had another consistent race day and would take to the 3rd spot on the podium as a result. Hattie Harnden gave it one last huge push on a stage that she had won on the previous day. But she couldn't recoup the time lost with that puncture. She finished the final stage in 3rd, which was enough to cement 2nd position in the race.
Unfortunately got a puncture on stage 4, cable tied it all together, whacked a tube in, thanks to everyone that helped, and I made it down the last stage, so I'm really happy. Obviously it could have gone a bit better, but it's my own fault and we live and learn, so next week hopefully I don't make the same mistake.
Isabelle Courdurier showed her class in Crans-Montana. She ticked the stages off metronomically and finished the job out perfectly. She made it back-to-back EWS wins in the USA and Switzerland.
I did not felt I was going really fast on one particular stage, but I felt I was quite consistent, and I think today it was important to ride like this.
The final stage in the pro men's race saw the deck receive one last thorough shuffle. The big push came from Specialized teammates Kevin McHale and Charlie Murray. The Frenchman and the Kiwi finished the stage 6th and 7th respectively, but they had done enough to climb as high as 3rd and 5th in the race. The title race had lurched sideways. Jesse Melamed suffered a huge crash up top. He finished the stage back in 52nd. Richie Rude, still reeling from his crash, finished in 29th. Meaning that the title rivals would end the day 8th and 9th. Jack Moyer was unstoppable. He won all 5 stages in one of the biggest returns to form that enduro racing has yet seen. He put 2.9 seconds into Martin Mays, who, like the Australian, was riding virtually back at his very best again.
It was a rough start to the year and slowly been clawing back each race, and then I feel like a win was in reach at the last couple and just didn't go my way, so I'm pumped it all worked out today. There was no stage, I don't think, where I had a big gap, so I was just like consistently just ahead, which feels good.
In the pro women's race then, Isabelle Courdurier took her 4th win of the season. Hattie Harnden will have been left to wonder what could have been with that 2nd, and Morgan Charr was 3rd. Connolly and Carême made up the top 5, ahead of Scarsi in 6th, and Lisa Baumann held on to 10th. And after that breathtaking final stage, here's how the pro men's race finished. Moyer is peerless atop a tree of big rides. Mays turns out another superb set of results for 2nd place, and Kevin McHale finally gets back onto the podium for the first time since EWS Finale Liguri 2021. Slavomir Lukasic had a stellar day to end up in 4th ahead of Murray. Werner, Dano and Vidal all had big second halves, but the landscape was dominated by the title protagonist Melamed and Ruud. Not where we're used to seeing them, but nevertheless welded together all the same in 8th and 9th after a rough afternoon. In the pro women's then, Isabelle Cordurier's second title looks to be safely in the boat and headed for the frying pan. She's currently 545 points clear of second place Morgan Schär, whilst Bex Barona is in third position by just 5 points from Ella Connolly. Richter and Scarzy round out the top 10. After a frankly hectic EWS Crans-Montana then, the pro men's title is set up beautifully for a final round decider. Jesse Melamed's chances of landing the hammer blow exploded out from underneath him with that final stage crash, and mathematically at least, Richie Ruud still has the chance to win a third crown. Martin May is his best of the rest in third ahead of any Masters, whilst Jack Moyer is now up to 5th ahead of Slawomir Lukasik. In the team's championship, Pivot Factory Racing remain out front, but Rocky Mountain Raceface are not too far behind, and Yeti Fox are in third place ahead of Canyon Collective and Lapierre Zip Collective. Well, there you have it then. If you're a fan of racing, then you always hope that the title race will come down to the final round, and that is exactly what the 2022 Enduro World Series has done. All 3 title races are still to play for, and the pressure and anticipation is mounting ahead of what promises to be one of the biggest races in the sport's 10-year history next time out at EWS Loudenvielle. France for a bike race, anyone? We'll see you there.